They told her to stay silent, to serve and disappear. But in a Manhattan restaurant where a $5 billion deal was collapsing, one black waitress refused invisibility. She spoke flawless Arabic, exposed the mistranslation, and shifted the power of the room. What began as humiliation ended with dignity, justice, and a reminder that true worth cannot be hidden. What do you think? Was she right to speak up? Comment justice below, and don't forget to subscribe for more powerful stories. The dining room of Hudson and Time gleamed with crystal and silver, but the air felt suffocating. At a corner table reserved for billion-dollar negotiations, every seat was filled with power, except the one person who mattered most. Sheikh Karim leaned forward, his words tumbling out in rapid Arabic. Forks paused mid-air. Glasses stilled. The hired interpreter froze, eyes darting. A ripple of panic spread across the room. Victor Hale, the American CEO, clenched his jaw, whispering, "What is he saying? We can't lose this deal." The interpreter muttered, "It's too complex." "I can't." Across the room, a waitress in a black apron set down a tray, her hands tightening on the handles. For 3 nights, she'd been invisible. Tonight, she wasn't going to stay silent. Nia Carter took a slow breath, setting the tray down with deliberate care. The manager, Marcus Doyle, shot her a sharp glare. "Stay out of this. Staff don't speak at my tables," he hissed. His words cut like glass, but she didn't flinch. Her fingers curled against her apron, a quiet rebellion. She listened as Karim's voice grew louder, his advisors nodding firmly, while Victor's face drained of color. The interpreter wiped his forehead, whispering, "He thinks Section 4 means full takeover. We can't clarify." Marcus stepped closer, whispering with venom. "Don't even think about it. You're here to serve plates, not opinions." His lips twisted in contempt. Nia's eyes burned, but she forced her voice calm. "I understand him. You're all mishearing the term." For the first time, the table turned toward her. Hale stared in disbelief. Karim raised an eyebrow. Silence pressed down like a weight. Nia stood straight, her heart pounding, but her words firm. "Your Highness, if I may, I can explain the confusion." The entire restaurant seemed to freeze. Marcus lunged forward, grabbing Nia's elbow. "Enough. You'll embarrass us all." But before he could drag her back, Sheikh Karim raised his hand. "Let her speak." The command sliced through the room like steel. Marcus recoiled, seething. Nia's voice steadied, though her chest tightened. The interpreters mistranslated Section 4.3. It doesn't give Pinnacle absolute control. It requires joint approval. Without that correction, the contract collapses. Victor blinked, stunned. "How do you know this?" Nia lifted her chin. "Because I wrote analyses for the Abu Dhabi Investment Authority before I ever wore this apron." The words landed like a thunderclap. Karim leaned forward, eyes narrowing with intrigue. Marcus stammered, "She's lying. She's just a server." But Nia didn't flinch. She pulled the menu from the table, flipped it over, and sketched a clean diagram of equity flow. "This is what your advisors missed. This is why the deal is failing." A suffocating silence followed. Forks untouched. Eyes wide. Then Karim slowly nodded, breaking into a faint smile. "At last, someone who understands." The tension cracked like glass under weight. Karim gestured for Nia to sit at the table. Marcus barked, "This is absurd. She's a waitress, not a negotiator." His voice echoed too loud, drawing stares from nearby diners. Karim's tone was ice. "Then she is the only one here worth listening to." Victor rubbed his temples, realizing the truth. The 6-figure interpreters had failed, the only person who salvaged the deal was the woman they all ignored. "Still," Marcus muttered, "you'll ruin us with your arrogance." Nia kept her gaze steady. "Arrogance is ignoring the right answer because it doesn't wear a suit." She slid the menu-turned whiteboard across the table, the diagram crisp. A conditional veto clause. Balanced oversight. Both sides secure. For the first time, Victor leaned back, exhaling. She's solved it. Kareem gave a single nod. Exactly. Sign the deal, on the condition she remains lead advisor. Marcus's face drained, his authority collapsing in the same room where he had tried to erase her. The final signatures came swift, pens gliding across contracts that only minutes earlier teetered on collapse. Kareem clasped Victor's hand, then turned to Nia. From this night on, you are not staff. You are my advisor. His words drew gasps, then a wave of hushed applause from the surrounding tables. Marcus stood frozen, jaw tight, eyes darting for support that never came. Victor finally spoke, his voice quieter, humbled. Miss Carter, I owe you more than an apology. You saved this partnership. Nia met his gaze calmly. I don't need apologies. I need respect, earned, not handed. The room seemed to shift. Patrons who had ignored her all week now looked with something different, acknowledgement. Kareem raised his glass. To truth, wherever it chooses to stand. The toast rang clear, filling the restaurant. Nia exhaled slowly, her shoulders straight. She had walked in invisible, treated like a shadow. Tonight, she walked out carrying the weight of change, proof that dignity and merit could no longer be silenced.